I watched all 12 Friday the 13th movies for the first time ever, so I'm ranking them from worst to best. Let me know your rankings in the comments or your thoughts on my list, and let's get into it. In dead last, I have Jason Goes to Hell. That seems to be a popular opinion that it sucks, but it just was very misleading. He didn't even go to hell, he just died once again. Then in 11th, I have Jason X, and to be honest, when your slashers are going to space like Leprechaun, you know that you're doing something wrong. This movie was campy and had some decent moments, but overall, it just was too ridiculous for me to actually enjoy. Then in 10th, we have Friday the 13th Part 5, which was almost my least favorite. Like, I had the biggest distaste for this one, because yet again, in 5 movies, Jason was not the killer, and that's just ridiculous. I'm watching Friday the 13th for Jason. 9th, we have what started it all, the original Friday the 13th, and I do not understand how an entire franchise spawned after this. I get they were trying to be like Halloween, I get that, but 80% of this movie, literally nothing happened. In 8th, we have Jason versus Carrie. This is part 7, The New Blood. The final battle between the two was actually interesting, but this movie tried to do something that made no sense. It was like, you're introducing characters with actual no backstory to just have a fun fight at the end. Not my movie. In 7th, I have Jason Lives, and I heard this was one of the most popular, most loved in the entire franchise, and I was let down. But I will say there were some great kills, and I loved how he came back to life, the lightning bolt down into his grave, and the special effects there are sick. In 6th, I have Jason Takes Manhattan. This movie's fun as hell, and I did like them on the boat, to be honest, because I love watery atmospheres in general. Like, I love Camp Crystal Lake. I love that atmosphere. So the boat was cool. They were just on it way too long. And of course, that knockout punch scene lived up to all the hype. And I bought this Friday the 13th Angry Orchard Thriller Pack. I'm not a big fan of Angry Orchard, but the cans are sweet, so let me know if you got these too. Now entering my top 5, I would rewatch all 5 of these. Part 2, I love Sackhead Jason. That is my favorite look of Jason in the entire franchise. I love the kills, specifically the wheelchair one. And this was the movie that gave me hope for the rest of this franchise. In 4th, I have Freddy vs. Jason. I just finished watching this a few hours ago. I love Freddy Krueger in this one, to be fair though. And he's a big reason this is in my top 5. But to be fair, this movie is just a badass, violent time. None of the story matters. In 3rd, I have The Final Chapter, a fan favorite along with Jason Lives, but I was much more impressed with this one because of the serious tone and Corey Feldman pulling off that wild look at the end. This was a good movie. In 2nd, I have the Friday the 13th reboot. This movie is violent and fun, and this Jason is the most insane. But Friday the 13th Part 3 is my jam. I love the 80s synth intro. I love the spear gun kill. I love the stupid character Shelly, and I just love Jason kills overall.